Hey everyone, it's Mistborn here. Today I'm going to be quickly running you through a summary of the season and basically what I think of each dragon, what I think are the good dragons, what I think are the bad dragons, what I think are the fun ones. Because there is an element for that. I think in all these tier lists everyone says out, they're like, what is the most absolutely viable thing? If you're like me, you've been playing for a few seasons now, and chances are you've got your core. These are the good things that I'm going to fly whenever I want to be serious. Sometimes you actually want something that is just fun. So I'll be hoping to make almost two lists. I'll start with the viability list, just to basically, that's what a lot of people want. So, the short answer is Pathox is the number one. Can hit the highest. Pathox has the ability to go the furthest because he has two white spells. One of those white spells is a CC. It will allow you, even if you're not cloaked, to freeze towers and be safe. You can use this for ammo regen, you can use this for rage regen, you can simply use this to give you time to, wear off the effects of, being rage frozen. Now, he also has a white cloak, which is phenomenal, that happens to also increase rage and ammo, because why wouldn't it? He has a heal and another rage steroid. He's just absolutely phenomenal. I've got mine now. He's only at gold tier, but he's already taken on bases that are 180. Level 180. He can do my invader base at level 166 with less than 10% health damage, and that's healed up with Soul Devour anyway. He's phenomenal. And on top of having all of that, he has a passive 20% damage amp once he's done damage to something with a auto attack, not a spell. He's phenomenal. He's the strongest by far, but obviously it's not available to everyone. So let's move on to the next one. Now, the next best one is one I don't have, but I've seen plenty of people fly it, and it's Prospero. Now, Prospero he's just a solid hunter. He's an improved Avix, he's an improved Ibrine. He's got a damage amp, which is permanent if you don't use the stun, which you should. He has a white cloak, which, as we said before, is obscene. He has adaptive flak resist, so if you can use that to regain rage or just to tank a few extra shots, which would normally kill any other hunter. And he has consume, which is just a nice handy way to regen, but doesn't really make or break the kit. The damage amp is decent. Damage amp will allow you to hit a lot higher than you would normally. That and the fact you've got a stun. He has one weakness, which is essentially if you get rage drained, it takes him a while to recover. It's true of all hunters, and the white cloak does have a downside. Normal blue cloak you can reset with a blue mage. You can reset the cooldown. You can't do that with a white cloak. So once that cloak runs out, you are there until you're done. The stun kind of makes up for it, but it's something to be aware of. He's the next best, I would say. It's close with number 3, but I'd say just slightly Prospero. Number 3 is Sylphan. Now, Sylphan is a bit of a weird one. She's probably the hardest to fly properly, because she's a sorcerer. She is built like a hunter, but is a sorcerer. She has an invulnerability shield that is very, very short. In fact, let's go to Sylphan here. So, Mark of Twilight, invulnerability shield. Blocks all mage shots. You can use this if you see a red mage firing at you, or if you kill the blue mage and catch it early enough, you can block this with this. When it pops, it leaves rage marks for you and any followers. Very good. Ethereal Chains is if you've ever seen Noctua, it's a red version of his vines, basically, that's slightly smaller. It's basically a red desiccating sand that's AoE. Bigger AoE. It's very good. It gives Sylphan the ability to lead okay. I wouldn't recommend him as a lead. He's better as a follow, but he can do it because you can chain things and leave rage markers on them for your follower. Then you come to the Death Stare, which is a white one-shot kill. What's not to like? There is a cooldown, so you can't just spam it, but it does mean that if you're following a sanded base, it's free to just pop the Mark Twilight, Death Stare one at a time so that you're healing rage as you're firing spells. It's very good. And Elemental Resist just halves the damage you take from Elemental Towers, so all the flax and everything like that. Now, Sylvan is better as a follow because it's basically got unlimited rage with Death Stare and Mark of Twilight. It can also turn off any towers that was missed on the first run. It's very good for that. You can lead as well if you use Death Stare to take out the mages and then either Mark of Twilight or chain and set things up, and then your follower doesn't just have sanded towers, they've got batteries of rage. Harder to do, not as reliable, but it can be done. Next we have my next, I think it's the next best dragon, which is, I am not including Aristrat in here because basically I've got no experience with it. I've never seen one fly. I've seen every other dragon fly. I've never seen an Aristrat fly. He looks okay for a warrior. He'd probably come third on this list or fourth if I had to put him somewhere, but I just don't have enough experience to speak about Aristrat. Somnus would be my next one. Now, Somnus I'll touch on later on, but he's got a white spell, 0 rage, that allows you to amplify the damage. You can keep this up permanently if you're fast enough. It's just almost a passive damage amp. Death Knell is a 2 rage red spell that will restore all health and give you full rage and a very small invulnerability. I think this spell should have been different, but that's neither here nor there. And then you have its Soul Barrage, which is the white spell, which is like Seeker Shots. If you've never seen it, it basically fires out a bunch of shots which select random targets. If there's only a certain amount of targets, those shots can combine onto the same tower. It gives him quite a bit of burst alongside of the Ectoplasmic Breath is the 0 rage white spell. Now, he's fun. He's okay. Defended though, if you don't have enough rage to do Death Knell, you're dead. That's it. If you get rage drained and you can't cast Death Knell, you are dead. Which is the issue with Somnus. I love the idea of him, but he's just not great. He's not bad, he's just not great. And last of all, by a country mile, is Cavaliris. Cavaliris has an awesome power fantasy. You've got the white battlecry, which in theory you'd expect him to power up, and get stronger. It's great in theory, but it doesn't really work with gear, and it doesn't work with boosts, and the 10% ends up not being quite 10%, and apparently there's a bug with it, so it's not doing quite as much as it should do. It goes by 10% of his attack damage at his rank. So if you attack with a green Cavaliris, use Warcry, it 3 times, it's not going to add 30% to your next dragon, it would add 10% of whatever Cavaliris' damage is. At least that's what the last I've heard of that issue, that's what it was. He's got the white spell which blocks mage shots and absorbs them, which is a fantastic idea, and blocks all damage. And the 0 rage regenerate, which is a fantastic addition. He's also got the flak resist, which I don't actually remember which one it is because I haven't flown him in ages. Let's have a little look. So he has ice flak. Now, honestly, Cavaliris is... he's just disappointing. He's got such a low ceiling, in that anything above a certain level of power beyond him, he just can't. There has no way to do anything. If he doesn't kill the damaging towers before his elemental barrier, like his barrier, runs out, he's dead. Look, there's nothing he can do, because he'll just get rage drained. And yeah, the rage he gains the rage from using it is lovely. He just doesn't have the punching power. He's got no damage steroid, and it's the thing that lets most warriors down, is not having the ability to really punch through a defended base. Hammers destroy him. He'll probably end up having rage at the end of it, so his follower's not going to exactly be strapped for it, but if all you're doing as a lead is giving them one war cry and full rage, why wouldn't you just pick something else? I love the idea of Cavalieris. I hate its execution. Now, that's the viability list. Let's move on to the fun list. If you've got your dragons, you don't really want to think about what, your core, I need something for wars, I need something for competitive flying. You want something just to have fun with. The list is completely different. Now, in first place is actually Somnus. Somnus has one of the most unique playstyles I've seen. It's just fun. The ability to just get all your rage back, the ability to just be a non-stop barrage of damage, having a permanent damage amp on your spells. It's an awesome idea. It's not going to be the thing you're going to run in wars unless you're hitting well below your weight. Defenders will kill it, but if you're just looking for something fun, I honestly suggest Somnus. It looks so much fun. Next one is Pathox, probably because it's a very unique style hunter. It's a hunter that flies like a sorcerer. It's weird, but he's fun. Part of that is because he's mythic, but it's just a completely different style to what we're used to, and it's honestly quite good. It's fun. It really is quite fun. You're a spell casting hunter, a hunter that relies almost exclusively on spells beyond the auto attacks. You almost use the auto attacks as an afterthought once you've run out of your cloak. So a fun list is Pathox there. I'd say next is Sylphan. The next three are very close together. Because of Sylphan's unique playstyle, it's hard, which can take a bit of the fun off. He is very hard to pull off, but he's quite satisfying as well. He's a very unique playstyle, which this season has done very well. And I would recommend it. Just don't play it if you get frustrated by challenging dragons. Just don't. Next is going to be Prospero. Now, I love Prospero as a hunter. I love him as competitive. I love that side of things. I hate how he feels. He feels like Avix. He feels like Ibreen. He feels like a bunch of the other seasonal hunters we've had. There isn't a massive amount that sets him aside. He's got a different flak resist, and his damage amp has a stun on it. He's not got healing mark, he's got consume. He feels so much like Avix and Ibreen, and there's nothing wrong with that if it's their first time flying that style, but I've seen this type of hunter done so often, and it's a valid, strong hunter type. I'm just bored of it now, so I can't rate him as highly on the fun scale. He's strong. I wouldn't say he's fun. And last of all was Cavalieris. This, I'll admit I'm biased on this, because I love the power fantasy he's got. I love the idea of him. I love what he symbolises and what they try to do with him. I hate the execution. It doesn't help that he's a warrior, and the warrior class is flawed compared to the others. They just don't do enough damage to compensate for defenders compared to what other classes can do. He's so below the bar for the rest of them that I can't have any fun with him. That is a personal thing. I can't stand warriors myself. Saying that, I really enjoyed the idea of Tez last season, which I felt was a better version of Cavalieris. I just can't enjoy him. I really can't. Aristrat is unique. Again, this is very tentative because I've not seen much of him at all. I would say he would probably rank third or second. His playstyle is unique for a warrior, very unique for a warrior, and actually viable from what I've seen. Again, take the Aristrat with a bit of salt, because I really haven't seen anything of him, but just looking at the streams and things like that, he looks like he could be fun to fly. He's not going to be breaking the game or anything like that, but he looks fun. I'd probably say second or third on the list if I was going to give him a thing without seeing anything to do with him. That's what it'd be. But yeah, that's what I think of all the seasonal dragons this season, with the experience that I've got. If you haven't picked a dragon yet, you've been waiting for super sigils that are coming next week. Hopefully this has helped you. I'll be putting up some gameplay soon of Pathox. Unfortunately, I've only got his gold stone right now. I was hoping for super sigils this week. So I'll be putting that up soon. I might do a gold gameplay of him, because he's relatively strong, and he can hit about my level at gold, but I'd really want something that's actually my level that I can really punch above the weight with. But there we go, that's all I've got for you today, and I will see you next time.